Peace and love, everybody. This is Arroz and Oxtails. This is the year-end wrap-up show. Your host, the Godfather. One love to everybody.
This
What's
is
up,
Q.
Q?
This is Q. God bless everyone.
Yes, sir. What's been going on, man?
I'm trying to stay COVID free, baby. You know, this COVID thing is atrocious over here in New York City at the moment. A lot of schools are like catching cases. Everybody's catching cases, and like it's just really bad out here right now.
It
I
ain't
mean,
going nowhere.
it's COVID said we're here to stay, baby.
That's it.
And
That's
you gotta be healthy as possible
it.
and eat your vitamins, eat your vegetables,
Yeah.
and do what the doctor tells you, eat right, exercise, all those type of things.
Yep.
This is the
Yeah.
time to keep yourself healthy.
Hoganing it up. Yes, sir. Nah, I
How was
feel
your holidays?
they were fine. We spoiling my kids, so that's a good thing, I guess, until they get too spoiled, and then I got to start canceling Christmases. But I haven't gotten there yet. I got some friends that cancel Christmas like flat out. Like no.
I'm on the cancel Christmas to this year because unfortunately my daughter hasn't been doing well academically, so I gotta show her I ain't playing.
That's what it is. That's
If
what it
you
is.
just cannot be rewarded because you're a child. I understand you're a child,
Mm-hmm.
but you gotta work. Like I gotta work to earn, you gotta work to earn.
That's
And I
right.
just can't reward you for being you. I wish
Uh,
it was like that. I would give you anything I want. But in
uh,
this life, it doesn't work like that.
I'll give you everything you need. You got to earn what you want. And that's the truth.
Real
You
true.
providing her with everything that she needs. She got a roof over her head, food in her stomach, and clothes on her back. You know, what more can you
But don't
do?
worry. I think. After she feels it this year, she's gonna be like, all right, this my father is not playing. I gotta step it up.
Hey, that's it. You know,
But I think once he gets there, we'll be on the road. What a wonderful year of boxing this year. Like I feel like this year, a lot of people talk about how like boxing is dead or boxing is no good anymore. Listen, we had a lot of good fights this year.
he had a lot of good fights this year, man. Again, like I said, you're talking about COVID, and they finally started letting people in the arenas, and you actually have crowds out there watching the fights, and you feel the energy of it all as opposed to watching people fight in an empty ring, and it looks like a sparring session, pretty much. That was happening in 2020. Some of the biggest fights that happened this year, like it was just missing that little bit of something because there were no people there to see it. You know what I mean?
If there was no sound effects, it was just like
No,
there
no,
was no sound effects to it, and
no
I just
special
felt like
effects. Yeah.
that's the best part. Like I've been to fights live too, so it's like watching on TV and being there live is two different experiences. I'm pretty sure you've been to fights live as well. So
Yes, sir.
having the crowd react,
Mm-hmm.
it makes more excitement.
Yeah.
It's a big
You want
difference.
to
It's
get
a
up
big
with
difference.
them, just like yes,
Yes.
when you start here instead of just sitting there. Oh, that was a good shot. Whatever. But the boy Canelo had a crazy year. He fought 3 times this year. You know,
Oh, he's been on fire. He's
what can you
he's been
say?
on fire. He's been on fire. I don't know
Canelo was
what
out
he's
there getting
eating.
busy.
I
Huh?
don't know what he's eating. I don't know what his training regimen is. But I just know he's been on top of his A game. He beat Billy Joe Saunders. He
Mhm.
beat Caleb Plant. I don't know who else he beat this year. I know those two big names were like the
Yeah, the
biggest
cat's
names
name
were.
is Abney Vildurin. And
Oh,
that's
that
what.
burger, that was
Yeah,
a burger.
yeah, he was a
That
burger.
was that was a burger.
That's it. You know, He was a straight up burger, and that's what made I think that helped to make the Joe Saunders and Plant fights happen. You know what I mean? Just because you ease them into it. You know what I mean? And then when you get them in there, because they think that you're just fighting cupcakes, and then you show them that it's not a game. That's exactly what Canelo did. He stopped everybody he fought this year. Like,
I mean, I think I think the best two tests he had, like, was Billy Joe Saunders and Caleb Plant. I think they were both great matches for Canelo.
mm-hmm.
They were both undefeated. They both had slick styles.
Yeah, and those were styles that he used to struggle with back in the day. Because I mean, I still think that Erislandy Lara beat him.
Beat him.
Right. I thought that Lara beat him. And Mayweather gave him a boxing lesson. You know what I mean?
Right.
And both of those guys were slick boxers. You know what I mean? They were there to hit and not get hit. They weren't in there to trade. And like I thought Caleb Plant was gonna, give him problems, and he had Plant on the back foot all fight, and just everything he landed was like meaningful, and it was just
I think Plant fought pretty well. I didn't think it was that much of a blowout.
No, it wasn't a blowout, but he was there. He was like, I'm gonna walk you down. I'm gonna knock you out. Like that's it. Like, and he was winning rounds. Like it was like I would say, like, he stopped him in the 11th, I think it was. And with the Caleb Plant fight, and I was like, man, he it was the 11th, and he was just walking him down, straight up. But Caleb Plant, to his credit, he was giving him some work. Like, he won a couple of rounds in those last few, like the 7th and 8th. And
yeah, I give him hold on, the sound. I give him about 4 rounds.
Yeah, it was like
I just don't remember which rounds I gave him. I will have to watch the fight again. But me watching the fight, I'm like, Canelo, it wasn't easy. I'm not saying he was a burger, but it was definitely not there was no walk in the park. He had to really like fight him.
Yeah, like Caleb Plant he looked good. He didn't look like he wasn't supposed to be there. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen Canelo in there with some, some hype jobs, and he winds up blasting him out the stratosphere, like when he fought
the dude in January.
When he fought James Kirkland, like, he beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, but James Kirkland, though, remember that James Kirkland, he hasn't been the same. He went to jail, been active, lost Ann Wolf. There was a lot of particulars that went with that fight.
Right.
That's how I feel. I'm not saying, I'm not discrediting Canelo for the win.
Right.
But James Kirkland wasn't a bad fighter either. He just wasn't active enough. Didn't have Ann Wolf. Went to jail. A lot of things was going on in life. He wasn't being active enough. And then he took a money fight and said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna take the Canelo fight. I'm gonna just go in there, swinging."
But that being said, because all facts, right? That being said, Caleb Plant looked like he was in there to win.
No, he was definitely, he wanted to win the fight. It's just Canelo was too good. So did Billy Joe Saunders. I think Billy Joe tried to win too.
Oh yeah. he got caught with the wrong shot at the
Did
wrong
you
time.
think?
He broke his eye socket. Like,
Did you think? Did you think with the Billy Joe stoppage? I didn't think Billy Joe do bad. I think Billy
it's
Joe
going good.
and Billy Joe and Caleb Plant both tried to win. They didn't come in there not trying to win. They didn't try to. They didn't. They believed in themselves a lot. The shot. Did you when Billy Joe got stopped? Do
Uh,
you think he quit and said no mas, or he was like he was really hurt?
I think his corner stopped him because he was like, yo, he said that punch landed and he could feel it. Like he broke his orbital bone. Like, you're not gonna fight with a broken orbital bone. Like, there's some people who have, you know, but like you remember Meldrick Taylor
Right.
with a broken orbital bone. He was fighting Chavez, you know what I mean? And he wasn't the same after that fight, period. And
It's tough. It's
that,
tough.
yeah, like
Sometimes.
hard, that's a hard injury to soldier through. That's your face, and
You
yeah,
might not
I
be the
think
same nigga after that.
no, you know what I mean? We we're gonna talk about another guy with that too, but yeah, I think that in the end, I think his corner was like, look, your face is broken. Like your bone that encases your eyeball is broken. And we want you to fight again. Because it's not like he's a old cat. He's young. You know what I mean? And he's gonna try to come back in like a year or so. But like they're like, you can live to fight another day. You're not fighting with no broken orbital bone. Like, anybody that does that, I salute him.
No, it was. I ain't gonna front. Me and you would have had taken that punch like that. I probably would have been dead.
No,
Those
he didn't
guys,
even go
whatever he,
down.
no, he took it. He took
He
it,
took
and it
it.
was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And they sat in the corner. They're like, "You all right?" I don't
Yeah.
know, son. I don't
It's something
know. I
wrong.
don't know.
I didn't feel right. That's not adrenaline. You know what I mean?
That, yeah,
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not mad. The reason why I asked, because I caught the fight the day after, and sometimes you look at fights and you're like, that he quit and said, I'm not the one taking the punch, so I can't say nothing. I didn't get hit with that crazy uppercut. It looked at me and it looked at sharp. I'm never trying to get hit by Canelo.
No,
Never,
sir.
never. I would never. I don't care how much money. I will have to be in perfect shape to even do that.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
If they told me, we want to give you $15 million to fight Canelo, I said, damn, bro, I don't think I'm going. I would probably tell them I don't think I could even do that. I don't know. I need 5 years of training, 3 years of training to fight him.
Give me 5 years so I can be ready, because I don't want to,
You can't just
into
think.
a shock.
You just can't think. Like they telling you, like, look, $15 million, $10 million to fight him. Nah, he does this for a living. I might kill myself.
It's not a game. It's not a game.
But if I had some type of background of like physical, like I've been training for fighting like most of my life. That's different.
That's different.
Yeah.
You training most of your life. You built for that. You know what I mean? And we civilians. You know what I mean? We not. I'm not trying to take no punch like that. Somebody hit me with something like that, I'm going to the trunk. That's
yeah, you're gonna have to shoot that guy.
Like for real, like that's just, I'm not hugging you after this. Like I'm gonna be like your boy Deontay Wilder, sitting in my corner. Like, no, I don't respect you at all. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not getting up to shake your hand after that. Like I'm gonna be pissy. So salute to Canelo for doing his thing. He's the top bill in boxing right now. You
The
know,
cash cow.
yes, sir.
The cash
You know,
cow.
what do you think is next for him?
To be honest with you, it's scary what he can. I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, he's going up to almost heavyweight to
Mm-hmm.
fight some dude that I've never heard before at cruiserweight, almost, which is 200 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the guy's name. He's fighting for a title, Canelo,
Oh, he's trying to
and
fight Usyk.
no, some other dude.
Some other.
I forgot his name. Some other dude. It's not Usyk.
Oh, let me. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, look it up. It's
Yeah.
it's 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 scary because these guys are getting bigger, and Canelo's not that big of a. I'm not saying he's not big. He's not strong. He's a strong motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's a strong motherfucker. He's but these guys are getting bigger.
Yeah. He's fighting some guy named Makabu.
Yeah, I don't know who he is, but it doesn't matter.
Uh-huh.
I'm just scared the fact that you're beating these guys at 168.
You're knocking him out.
Okay, you're knocking them out,
Yeah.
but you're going to you knocked out COVID at 175, but you're going all the way to 200 pounds.
Uh-huh.
This is a little different.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
not
much
saying
different.
right.
No.
I'm not saying you're a burger. I'm just
Mhm.
saying the guy you're fighting may not be. He may not have to be that much good. He could just have enough power to hurt you.
Yeah. And to keep you off him. And if you can't hurt him back, because
That's
he's
a
used,
problem.
yeah, yeah, there's a huge problem there. Well, we'll see if he's fighting for cruiserweight. I mean,
That's about almost
that's
200
what's up.
pounds.
If he can carry it up there, and he can take those types of shots, because the one thing about Canelo, he is defensively sound. You know what I mean? He's not just in there slugging with people. So if he could carry that same slickness up to 200, hey, he might not need to take
It's
punches. Just
tough
be
though
like, you can't
because
hit him.
it's a lot of things that I think about that when you go up to 200 pounds, your
Yeah,
stamina gotta be there. Your stamina
right.
gotta be there.
Mm-hmm. Your
You know,
strength got to be there. You're gonna have that 200-pound man trying to lean on you and put his weight on you, and
he might be the better boxer, but he may not be able to use all his skills all the way.
yeah,
Going up that way, and that's a scary thing because Canelo relies on counter punching and beating you the fuck up. And
mm-hmm.
if you're not really standing in front of him, what if this? I've never seen the other guy fight. What if this other guy fight can move? Then
Yeah,
what?
yep. He dancing around you, and you can't hurt him. And his jab feels like he got that Larry Holmes Mack truck jab. So,
It's crazy because if he beats the guy at cruiserweight, he'll be a 5-time world champion in five different weight classes.
yeah,
And I think no other Mexican has ever done that.
I don't think so. I mean, that most people haven't done that. Like, that's when cats usually do that is because they can't make their weight anymore, and they usually go up and get stopped. I mean, like the one person that I saw go up and was like nasty after fighting him, going from middleweight to fighting that cruiserweight or
Roy
heavyweight.
Jones. Roy Jones.
Well, Roy Jones fought that one fight against John Ruiz, and let's be honest, that was John Ruiz. Where but he still did it, right?
Yeah.
He still did it, but John Ruiz was tailor-made for Roy Jones because he had zero footwork. He was slow. All he did was walk and plod around the ring. Now, the guy that was like impressive, was James Toney. James lights out
Okay.
Toney went up and knocked out Evander Holyfield. You know,
I can see that
his
argument.
first fight at heavyweight. You know, he went up and knocked out Holyfield. And, you know, people can say, oh, Holyfield was all, you know, it wasn't easy to knock out Holyfield. Like, you know, Lennox Lewis couldn't knock out Evander Holyfield. You know, Lewis couldn't stop Holyfield. Foreman couldn't stop Holyfield. James Toney knocked him out. Period. You know.
Now James Toney is one of a kind guy. He's one of those guys of one of a kind. You know, I just wish he was a little more in shape. He just said fuck. She said fuck working out. I ain't gonna work out no more.
I'm just gonna spar. That's it.
I ain't working out no more. I know how to fight. I could beat these guys.
Yeah, but that being said, you know, maybe Canelo is a little more disciplined than that. You know what I mean? We'll see.
We'll see. I won't be surprised he loses to this guy. I won't, because of the big disparity in
logistics. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big thing. And if he does, congratulations and keep winning.
That's
what
right.
do you think about the Chavez Crawford and Porter fight?
My man Crawford, he did it. We called that. Yeah, you called that on our last podcast. We were like, yeah, you know, we were calling late stoppage for Crawford just because of the type of fighter Porter was. You know, Porter was the type that was going to keep coming forward, you know, and while he's a great fighter and he puts on that pressure, Crawford, once he gets your timing down, he's going to start teeing off on you. And it takes a special kind of fighter to be able to take that type of punishment continually, because he's going to catch you when you don't see it. And that's what happened. He's knocked out everybody that he's fought at 147. And Porter was his latest victim. And Porter was, he put up a great fight. But he was, you know, we both said late stoppage for that reason, because of the type of fighter that Porter was.
I wasn't disappointed at the fight. I was like very intrigued. I was very intrigued how the fight was going. Mm-hmm. Some people that I was watching the fight with were saying Crawford is losing. I could see why, because the activity, you know what I mean? Activity beats a lot of things sometimes in certain fights. But you know, I thought the fight was neck and neck. You know, I thought the fight 1 round Crawford,
it was a good fight.
1 round Crawford, 1 round Porter. I didn't think it was like until the very, very, very closing rounds, the championship rounds 10, 11, and 12, where I saw the separation. Okay, who's gonna win now?
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was like, that's how I saw it. I took my hat off to Porter. Like, listen, you fought the best possible fight you can fight. Mm-hmm. But Crawford is a guy that you know, he's not a bitch.
He's a different type of animal altogether. You know, he's not gonna crumble when you put pressure on him. And that was like, you know, I remember we talked about this, you know, after like the 6th round, once he got the timing down, he started teeing off. He started going to the body, and he started catching up to the body hard. And even in the rounds where, you know, in the 1 or 2 rounds after the 6th that you might have gave to Porter, it was purely off of activity. It wasn't because he landed the more effective punches, you know, and, you know, like around that 10th, that 9th, like you said, those championship rounds, 9th, 10th, 11th rounds, you know, well, the 9th and 10th rounds, Crawford really started landing effective punches, like just like hard pinpoint sniper type punches. And, you know, at that point, it was a wrap. And that was why, I mean, did you think, let me ask you this, did you think that Porter's father stopped the fight too soon? Because, like, I mean, Porter had whipped down twice. And then
it's tough, bro. It's tough for me to call because it's one of those father-son relationships where I wanted to see the fight to continue on because I think there was like 15, 30 seconds left in the round, right? To see what can they do, you know? Because I thought it was gonna be. I thought something worse was gonna happen, but I still wanted to see it regardless. I still wanted, as a fan, get him out of here. If anything, if not, let's finish this fight. Let's go to the 12th. You know what I mean? But his father felt like this was gonna get worse. So I'm not saying it's a bad call. But as a fan, I wanted to see more.
Yeah, you were in that gladiator stadium mind state, like, you know, killing. Know, I feel you. You know, I respect that. It's like, you know, sometimes if you know, like we've talked about this. These guys put in years to get to this level, you know, and you at some point, you know, you want to see them go out on their shield. You know, you see certain fights where the fighters go down 4 and 5 times. You know, you like, I don't know if you remember the what was the guy's name? What was his name? It's gonna bother me. Anyway, I can't remember the fight, but you see fighters, they go down 5 or 6 times in a fight, you know, and then they get back up. Like, I've seen cats go down 4 times in a fight, and then they get up and knock the opponent out, like smooth out. You know,
that's what I was kind of thinking in my mind, where those possibilities could have happened, right? He could have recovered. He could have recovered and came back, but unfortunately, we couldn't get to see that. You know, it was a clear-cut win for Porter. Like, it wasn't a bad win. Like, it's not. I'm not complaining on the stoppage. You know what I mean? I was more like, oh, that's it. You know what I mean? That was it. Like, that's it.
But that being said, you know, he was being caught at will. It wasn't like he was,
because Porter was gonna go out on his shield no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what.
That's what he was. He was gonna try to come at him again, hopefully land a big shot, and the momentum. His father didn't want to see that. Which cool, I understand.
Yeah,
you know,
the fight I was talking about was Jose Luis Castillo and Diego Corrales.
Great fight. Great fight. That could have happened.
Yeah.
That could have happened. Yes, it could have happened. The first one was the best one, but unfortunately, it went down how the cookie crumbles, and you know, the corner kind of knows, you know, hey, I don't want to see you go out like that. We're gonna call it now. I love you, kid, and then we just keep it moving. That's it. That's the most I can say. I mean, there's no shame on Crawford's. I mean, on Porter's game. Porter's, to me, it was considered a great fighter of his time. Just couldn't get the fair shake on some of the best fighters, but that's all right. He wasn't like a burger. I wouldn't call him. He's not a burger.
Not at all.
He was one of the best of his era. Yes.
Yes, sir. Now that being said, you know, back to giving our props to Crawford, because I mean, Crawford still won that fight fair and square, knocked him out when others could not, because a lot of people couldn't even get him down, let alone out. What do you think is next for Crawford?
Well, they're talking about him fighting. Because Spence is gonna fight Ugas,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
We're not gonna see the mega fight yet.
Nope.
We're talking Crawford fighting Boots, and it's Boots. You know who Boots is?
Yeah. Mm,
And
yeah. That's a good fight. That's a good
that's a
fight to
good
be made.
fight. They're talking about him. Or he could wait and not take the fight and see what Thurman does. You
Hey,
know,
you know,
he got
I,
he got a
he's got it. I mean, he's like we're talking about Boots Ennis,
right.
Jerron Ennis. Yeah, but
He's a problem. I wouldn't fight if I was Crawford. I wouldn't fight him. I wouldn't give him a shot only because he's dangerous enough. Not to say I'm pussy. He's Crawford's pussy or nothing like that.
mm,
It's just more like you don't want to. You're getting older and you
I
want to
mean,
preserve your body.
he has to take like they already don't want to fight him anyway, though. You know what I mean? That's that's the problem. That's the problem that Crawford faces right now because those cats don't want to fight him anyway. You know, uh, Spence don't want to fight him. Um, uh, none of those cats over at out there with PBC want to fight him anyway. You know, none of those cats want to fight him anyway because they're being advised not to. You know what I mean? And uh, it's sad because that's the part of boxing that we hate is the political aspect of it. You know, uh, but Spence definitely like the fact that Spence is taking that fight with Ugas says to me that he's never gonna fight Crawford. I think he's gonna fight Ugas and win or lose, he's gonna move up to 154. That's what I see Spence doing. You know what I mean? And he's gonna say again, well, you're not at 154 now, and Spence can carry that weight up to 154 fairly easily because he's a big welterweight. You know,
He might, but he has to get past. He has to
he
get
has to get
past
past
Ugas,
Ugas. You know,
and
but
that's not gonna be easy.
but back to Crawford. You know, I think that either he's gonna fight, uh, either he's gonna wait it out, or he's gonna take that fight against Ennis, and if he beats him, if he stops him, then he's gonna put himself back in that predicament where no one else wants to fight him. If he beats the brakes off this young animal, because Ennis is a beast. You know, if he beats him for whatever reason, not for whatever reason, if he beats him, period, then he's gonna then it's gonna be like, like these cats are gonna avoid him, just like they had been doing.
I don't think he's gonna take for Crawford's behalf. If I was Crawford, I would wait for Thurman.
Well, see, Thurman did say he wants to fight him now.
The reason why, I would wait for Thurman. You know why? The money.
Still got a name.
It's the more money. I think he'll get more money out of fighting Thurman than he'll fight, Boots. Boots is a dangerous fight. I'm not saying he can't beat him. I'm just saying there's more. It's fighting Boots is like fighting Ugas right now at this point in your career. I feel like, he's younger. He's like a wild card draw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a wild card. I'm not saying these fighters fight. These fighters fight. Like, he's been way more active than Thurman. He's been beating the niggas up. I'll still put my money on Crawford, but that's some punishment I don't want to really take right now. I'd rather fight Thurman, who's been lackadaisical with it,
Uh-huh.
make more money, because I'm gonna make more money fighting Thurman.
Yeah,
Yes, I
that's
believe
the
so.
best business move. Absolutely. We gotta see if, because right now he's a free agent. You know what I mean? And Mayweather is talking about getting him, and he might go over to PBC, but I
That's a
don't know
wrong
if he's
move. I
going to.
wouldn't do that. I would just
Yeah,
conduct business by myself, to be
yeah,
honest with you.
he
I would
should.
just conduct. I would be like, whoever wants to smoke, let's talk business. I have my own promotional team.
Mm.
I'm not tied to anybody. Listen, I'm not signing no deal. We're signing one
I'm a
fight
free
deals.
agent. Yeah,
We're signing one fight
signing one
deals.
offs. Yeah, yeah.
One. That's it. I'm not fighting. Listen, we're gonna. If we want the smoke, what you offering me?
Mm-hmm.
What you offering me? Thurman's
Mm-hmm.
the best fight. Um, Danny Garcia is another good fight for Crawford.
Danny Garcia would be a good fight, but I don't know if Garcia wants to make that fight happen. Like when was the last time Garcia fought?
Spence.
Yep,
Spence.
yep. That was that last year.
About last year.
Yeah,
It's about last year. I
yep.
think it's about last year. He hasn't fought. He hasn't been active that as well. But those type of guys like Thurman, I would see him fight Thurman before he fight Garcia because Thurman's coming back to fight. Garcia hasn't fought anybody yet. I don't know when he's gonna come back to fight. You
Yeah.
know, Garcia, not Garcia, um, Spence. I mean Spence. Yeah, I'm saying the wrong names right now. I'm gonna call Crawford. Crawford's best option is Garcia if he comes back.
Mm.
Thurman's looking like a eye. Even Brona.
Broner would be a
I
money
won't
grab.
even. I wouldn't. But still, I think he'll get. See, I'm looking at a business perspective.
Yeah,
Only
yeah.
business perspective.
Broner he'll put asses in the seats for sure.
Yes.
And I think that, man, that could you imagine the press conference
It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be fun.
between
It's something that you're gonna want to
between
see.
Adrian Broner and Terrence Crawford?
Regardless of the
Because Crawford don't be talking shit. Like I'm gonna whip your ass. And Adrian Broner would be on some old, you know,
I'm gonna beat you up, but not take it serious,
I'm
make
gonna
fun
do
of
this
you.
shit. I'm gonna show you because I'm Adrian Broner and this that. Like there would be a riot at the press conference on the strength of that. And I think that like Crawford would try to push him or slap him or something. I think he would take a swing at him, or something like that. If Broner came out there running his mouth, it would be bad. But it would put people in the seats for sure.
Right.
So
Thurman, there's some like I said, there's some fighters for Crawford to fight. I just think for
Crawford,
Crawford, yeah, for Crawford to fight, I don't want him to fight Boots, but if he does, that's a good fight. I'd rather take the guys who are a little bit less active right now. Not to
mm,
say the guys who are a little less active now have bigger names.
mm,
Like Broners has a bigger name than Boots.
mm,
Danny Garcia has a bigger name than Boots.
yep,
Fireman, all those guys I mentioned is gonna pay you more.
yeah,
They're all gonna pay you more.
mm,
I mean, um, I who else? There's Virgil Ortiz. There's Josh Taylor's a good fight too. Josh
yeah.
Taylor,
That's another one of those wild card joints. Because will the
it's
juice be
another good
worth the
fight.
squeeze? Yep.
But I think he's small enough. I think he's not a natural welterweight. I think he's more of a 140 fighter. Where if him and Crawford meet, I'm pretty sure it's a much easier fight for Crawford finding Josh Taylor than Boots because Boots is a way bigger man.
Mm,
Boots is pretty big. He's not no
yeah,
little kid. He's not a
yeah.
little kid.
Boots
Not
is
a little kid.
5'10", fighting at 147.
That's what I'm saying to
Yeah,
you. And he's
he's
not.
yeah.
He's not a little guy, bro. He's not a little guy.
Mm,
It all depends, like how the draw is, being drawn right now, because there's odds options. He just can't sit out for too long. You
Right.
cannot sit out for too long.
He
You
doesn't need
cannot
to
sit.
be out for another year. He doesn't need to be out for another year. Simple as that.
No, he needs to fight. I mean, I think the best option is in the summertime, Thurman. Summertime or summertime Thurman. You know, if Thurman gets past Barrios, which I think he will. I think he's gonna win his next fight. But you know, I say the best two best financial options is either Adrian Broner or Keith Thurman. For me. For me.
Absolutely.
For me. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Um
I agree. So, we got to talk about your boy, your brother from Brooklyn, Mr. Teofimo
Teofimo
Lopez. It
and
got in. He went in there,
Cambosis.
With Cambosis and got outboxed. And I want to nominate this guy for worst excuse. Not ever, because that goes to Deontay Wilder. Like Deontay was on some other shit, but we're gonna talk about him in a second.
That's different.
Yeah, but him and his pop, like, rather than just saying, hey, listen, we fought the wrong fight. He went in there against Cambosis and that was a huge upset. It was a great fight. Great fight, but he clearly lost that fight. Clearly. But like what your boy Joel Ortiz say, that's that Brooklyn bullshit.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, I won that fight. And that's all there is to it. No, you didn't. I'm sorry. Like that Australian outbox.
The problem with some father and son relationships are sickening sometimes because I see this problem with Danny Garcia's father too, where they're not the best fit people for their like. Not to say they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They know what they're doing, but there's a certain level where your father can take you here, but when you get here and it's you at the very elite level, so you need to switch trainers sometimes. Be like, listen, pops, I know you, my pops, but I need somebody else who's gonna take me to the next level because you wasn't being real with your son. You said he was up, he wasn't up. You said he was winning. You was saying a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't realistic, and I felt like Teofimo could have won the fight. He could have.
Oh, absolutely. He had him hurt in the 10th. He had him hurt in the 10th. And then Cambosis came back and fought his best round of the fight in the 11th. He just literally went back to boxing, went back to clear-cut boxing. And,
But when I say Teofimo could have won, I think what I mean by that is that Teofimo's corner was telling him knock him out, and that should have been the strategy. It should have been let's box him.
Right.
Let's box him. Don't knock him out. Wait for the knockout to come. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't come, it doesn't come. Let's box him. Let's box him up. And they got away from the game plan.
Trying to blast him out is what got him knocked down.
Right.
That's what got him knocked down in that first round.
You lost rounds trying to knock him out. You lost rounds. You're trying to knock a guy out where the trainer's telling you your trainer's telling you something and you believe in their trainer and that's not what's going on. You tell him to knock him out. That wasn't the best strategy. You could have won that fight if they was telling you, yo, bro, we gotta adjust a little bit. Let's work on your jab. Let's work the body. Let's be patient with our strategy. Let's not take it. He's not done yet. Let's not knock him out. There's no rush. We don't know if he's done yet or not. Because Cambosis had a lot of fight in him. He's very strong. Maybe not be as strong as Teofimo, but he wasn't punching weak either. He wasn't punching weak either. He
Right.
wasn't hitting
No,
soft.
he was catching them with some solid shots. Like, that first overhand right that he caught him with that knocked him down in that first round. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that was a
That
surprise
was a great
shot.
shot. He wasn't there to play
He
around.
was surprised. He was
He,
surprised.
you know, he wasn't there to play around at all.
He was very surprised.
That was it.
Teofimo, if he would have boxed, like I said, if he would have boxed and didn't wait for the didn't search for the KO, he could have won this fight and knocked him out. That's how I personally feel. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's how I personally feel. But he got more than he can chew because this kid was a good boxer. He wasn't he wasn't no bum. He wasn't a burger. He wasn't a burger.
A plotter. He wasn't a plotter, and no, he was in there. He was shifty. He was giving them angles. You know what I mean? But what else can if somebody's in there doing that with you, and you're the better skilled fighter, it's like you said, man. Like, his father wasn't giving him the right advice, and they're talking about. They don't even want to go for the rematch. They're like, we're going up to 140. And I'm like, you sure you want to do that? Like, if this cat who's not even like a real power puncher sat you down, like, and you going up in weight, you're a good fighter, but hey, if it's that hard for you to make weight,
I think honestly,
he's doing great things at 140.
He needs to get rid of his father. Same thing with Danny Garcia. Get rid of your guy. Get rid of your father. Have somebody else comes in. Let your father be the assistant cheerleader. You know what I mean? You still got his support there in the ring. Don't have your father as. I don't think these guys could go past the elite level having that type of training mentality with them.
No. There might need to be a change, but that's not going to happen. I don't see that happening. Like, he's not going to fire his dad unless he loses another fight. That's the only time.
Well, listen, if this doesn't happen soon with Danny Garcia or Teofimo, well, Danny Garcia is more of a gatekeeper now. He's really a definition of a gatekeeper now. But it's just I don't see you guys winning these type of fights.
Mm-mm. Not if you're not willing to tell them the truth.
I didn't like when I just don't like when father trainers are not honest.
Mm.
They're not honest. Like Sugar Shane Mosley knew that his father couldn't really give him the best advice. And he knew he had to switch trainers. Sometimes he would get his father in for a certain particular fight, but it's just he knew what was the deal. Like he had different trainers. You gotta know what's up. Like you gotta be real with yourself. Like you got it's business, nothing personal.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing personal. I mean, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite fights of this year was probably that fight we just mentioned. Look, a lot of fights. We had the Crawford Porter, we had the Cambosis Lopez, we got Tyson Fury and Wilder. That's one of the good fights. That was
a great fight.
Very good.
That was a great fight.
Good fight.
But that ass whipping was coming.
We called that one too, though. We called that one too.
Yeah.
Did we call it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I thought he was gonna knock him out. Remember I said we was gonna knock him out? We did say he was gonna knock him out, right?
Yeah, he's gonna knock him out.
I thought it was gonna happen sooner than that, but he did knock him out.
Hey, your man, he showed heart. Deontay showed heart. And had he not been making all those excuses after the second fight, it would have brought more respect. Like he earned more respect that night in spite of all the excuses that he made, and he played himself in the ring that night. You know, he admitted to it later, and he manned up to his ass whipping instead of, you know, making excuses. But, you know, that's still like, whenever I hear fighters do that, that leaves a bad taste in my mouth for that fighter. You know what I mean? Who am I? I'm just a fan, but being a fan, that's how I feel. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, what did you think of all the stuff that he was? Do you think that his showing made up for all the excuses that he was making in that fight?
I say this. This is what I say. Yeah, there was a lot of excuses. You know, mentally he was probably like in denial on certain things. You know what I mean? Which, you know, some fighters are. You know, I get that. But his performance wasn't bad. His performance wasn't bad. He went out on his shield, like, you know, a true warrior would do. I mean, I just felt like he didn't win that many rounds. It looked like the first fight to me. He only rounds that he really won decisively was probably the rounds that he knocked him down decisively,
Right.
Fury down. You know.
Yeah, and he only knocked him down in one round, and that was after getting up off being dropped in the third. I think it was the third, and then he got
Right.
knocked Fury
I
down.
think. Right. And other than that, he may have won the first round to me, maybe the first round, because Wilder wasn't really. I mean, Fury wasn't really doing too much besides studying.
Right.
But other than that, I think it was a pure blowout for on Tyson Fury's part.
He took a beating. He
Yeah.
took a beating. You know, and that was the, like, it was there to be taken. Like, you know, you wanted this, you know, and you, like, again, you convinced yourself that everything that happened in that second fight was because he was fighting dirty and he did this and he did that. You know, he's just a better fighter than you. You know, and he came out in that first round, even though Fury was studying more so, you know, and trying to get the timing down or whatever. He came out and did things that you had never seen Wilder do. He was working behind the jab. He was going to the body, you know.
But I mean, with that being said, he it's like you can't teach so much. Like people say, he's gonna learn how. He's gonna have to do something else. But his type of style, he's not a boxer by heart. No. He's not a boxer by heart. So those type of things that you're telling him to do, it's not gonna come. It's not gonna be second nature to him. It's not gonna be second nature to him at all.
Yeah. So as soon as he got tired.
Yep. I've never seen him that tired ever. Ever. I've never seen him that exhausted in the ring. Ever. Like I don't know how about you, but have you ever seen him that tired?
No.
I don't know what was the difference, and I don't know if he ate, if he overtrained a little bit. I don't know if he didn't work on his conditioning, but I've never seen him that tired. He was tired after the sixth round. You could tell by his legs.
Yeah, he was
going through it mentally. He was getting hit. He's like, yo, this is taking a toll, and eventually he got put away. But his performance wasn't bad. I just think that you can never win. Like some people want to talk about the count was too slow. You knocked them out. I tell people this: it's only the discretion of the referee. Why do you guys put that? Oh, Tyson Fury got knocked out. It's whenever the referee starts doing his job, is when the count starts. I don't want to hear, oh, he got knocked out.
No, don't make excuses. Because
when Mike Tyson knocked out Buster Douglas, and I think Mike Tyson knocked out Buster Douglas, but it wasn't. No matter how I felt about that or how we people felt about that, it was all on the discretion of the referee on the count. So it doesn't really matter how many seconds he was down. It matters when the ref starts counting from 5, 6, 7, 8,
Mm-hmm.
that matters
Yeah.
because that matters. He dictates what's going on right now. We don't get to dictate that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know.
And people who say Tyson Fury got knocked out in the first fight or Tyson Fury got knocked out in the third fight, you don't understand how this works.
Oh.
It's the
When
referee.
somebody is sitting there looking at the ref, watching him count, he's not out. He wasn't out of it at all. That's just people. That's just bias. You know, in my opinion. You know, like at the end of the day, you know, you can be disappointed at the outcome again, like we talked about tribalism when we spoke about this fight before, and how it makes people make excuses for the fighters in their fights because that's their man, you know, whatever. You know, at some point you gotta accept facts. You know, like you said, that's the ref's job. You know, and if he was out the way that you say he was out, then he would have never got up. He'd have never got up, or your mans would have knocked him out anyway when he got back up. And
I
that was it.
understand. I understand argument a little bit,
Uh,
but when you watch boxing enough, a lot, when you watch boxing enough for a long time,
uh,
the front as he hit the ground, the ref gotta tell the other fighter to get back
uh,
because he can't crowd the other fighter when he's on the floor.
uh,
Then once he knows that fighter's on the other side of the corner, then the ref starts counting from 5. And
uh,
that's whenever he's gonna count from 5 because he already in his mind, he's probably said, I already wasted 5 seconds. So let me start from this count right here. If he don't get up from this count right here, then I count him out. That's it. Because when Mike Tyson knocked down Buster, he was down for like 12 seconds. But that didn't matter. That didn't matter. What mattered is when the ref started counting.
yeah.
And
You know,
that's one thing I say, you know, it's difficult because it's just something that some fans don't understand.
hey, it is what it is. You know, do you think Wilder's going to come back, or do you think that he's going to retire?
I mean, he could come back and fight. He just can't fight Fury.
No, no, no,
He could come back and fight.
no.
But I tell you right now, if he
That
fights
can't have.
anybody that's like, I think honestly, the worst decision that he did, in my opinion, was you've been fighting this guy for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing you could have done. I can't understand the rematch, right?
Mm.
But you got wiped out. You got wiped out totally, dude.
Mm.
Right? The second
Yeah.
fight. You should have took a tune up, a confidence fight. A confidence fight to learn to practice some of the skills in the ring,
You will
those
learn it.
technical skills. Fight
Mm-hmm.
a couple, a burger or two before they go into that fight because it's tough to use those skills with someone who's that crafty.
Yep. That
Tyson
crafty and
Fury,
that big.
yeah,
Oh,
Tyson Fury is not a small guy.
no.
He's almost 7 foot tall,
Mm.
and he's fast. He's not a slow motherfucker.
No. Oh man.
It's
Yo,
that's
and your boy, like, speaking of which, like, as far as that, who do you think Fury is gonna go after next? Like, cause
he has way more options than Wilder right now.
yeah, yep.
Wilder's going to struggle with confidence.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. He has the mental battle to up here to really beat. It's not about for Fury though. Fury could fight Dylan White.
Yeah, they're still trying to make that fight
Fury
now.
could fight Anthony Joshua still. Fury could fight Usyk. Fury could fight Andy Ruiz. Fury could fight a lot of these guys.
Yep. It's
He
too
has
bad
options.
that Joshua lost that fight to
Usyk.
Usyk. That was probably the biggest upset of the year. Alexander
That
Usyk.
and then I think that the Lopez fight.
Yeah, because Usyk came in there to fight, and he came up from cruiser, and he came there ready. Like, this is not a
Right.
game. He beat Derek Sora, beforehand. Then he goes straight to Anthony Joshua. And, again, like, that fight was like, people try to make excuses for Joshua. That fight might have been, no, that fight wasn't close at all. He completely outboxed him. As a heavyweight, he outboxed him. And that's why I'm thinking he's going to give a lot of these guys trouble. He's going to be like Holyfield because he's faster than most of these guys.
He's craftier. He's more craftier. He's way more craftier. Like, he just seems like he has a pure boxer style
Uh-huh.
than I don't know. Joshua's not bad. I don't think Joshua's a bad fighter, to be honest with you. I don't think he's not bad. I don't think he's bad at all. It's just when you fight good boxers, people who can move, you're
Uh-huh.
in trouble.
People who
You're in
can
trouble.
move and people with good hand speed. That's what seems to all. Because he always winds up getting caught with something, that he doesn't see. And I think just the fact, I think that he was shocked at the fact that Usyk was willing to stand there in the pocket with him. You know what I mean? Because he was right there inside of his range, just hitting him with combos. You know what I mean?
And that took him. I took him at that speed, his hand speed, and his foot speed took him by surprise.
Uh-huh.
Very surprised. I mean, I don't think Usyk could beat Fury though. No.
No, I don't see. Like, I would be absolutely shocked.
I mean, it can. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not because he beat a 6'7"
Yeah,
Joshua,
yeah.
but here's the difference: is Joshua is not as mobile as Fury.
No.
Fury has better defense. Fury has a bigger reach.
Uh-huh.
Fury's a better boxer. You know what I mean? But then again, if you think about it, Usyk might be the best boxer Fury has faced in a long time.
Yeah.
If you think about it like that. If you think about it like that, because Usyk has probably the tools of
Mm-hmm.
making, you know, this a good fight. But I just don't know. I will have to. I mean, I'm not counting Usyk out. I just think that it's one of those fights I got to see it to believe it
True.
because there's a big height. Like, people don't realize how big Fury is. Fury is bigger than Anthony Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
He's bigger than him. In
Yeah.
height and fucking reach. He's not a small guy.
Yep. Now that being said, he's been clocked before by smaller fighters. Like when he fought Steve Cunningham, Cunningham tried to take his head off, and he swatted him. So like he's beatable, but that's where the skills come into play because he's not like that giant that you're gonna feel like you hitting a brick wall. You might do some damage, but
Right.
all the same, like that's when he starts using his skills, and he's a very smart fighter. He's not just a freight train that's gonna run over everybody. If he sees that he needs to stay away from you, he's gonna stay away from you. You know, he's gonna,
Right.
whatever. But salute to Fury, salute to Usyk. You know what I mean? Um, Again, like we said initially, that like this was a very exciting year for boxing. I don't want to talk about like. Do you want to? I don't really want to talk about that one clown that keeps fighting wrestlers and stuff like that, because I think that if he gets in there with an actual boxer, he's gonna get destroyed. But that being
I mean,
said,
I ain't gonna front. He's not bad for boxing if you think about it. He's not. He's making it a little entertaining. He's
it's
talking a lot of
entertaining.
shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I just think they talk about him fighting Chavez Jr.
If he beats Chavez Jr., I think that
I think he will. I think he will. I think he will. I think he
if
will.
he
At
beats
this
him,
point,
his father might disown him.
I think he
Chavez
will because he lost. Look, he lost to. I mean,
Anderson
I'm not
Silva.
saying right. I'm not saying
Yeah,
Anderson Silva's no bitch. He's no bitch either.
right.
He ain't no bitch.
No, not at
But
all. But Anderson
it's
Silva only
just
had 3
I'm not
professional fights.
surprised. I'm just not surprised with.
Chavez is a burger for hire.
Oh no, he needs to work for McDonald's. He needs to work for McDonald's.
You
Shit.
Hey,
His one of his best outings is the Martinez fight.
yeah, and he lost every round except the last round of that fight, and he couldn't get Martinez out of it. But Martinez was dogging him for 11 rounds straight. I went to that fight. I was at that fight, and I thought I was gonna get jumped by a bunch of Mexicans because I was rooting for Martinez.
Oh yeah, you gotta be careful.
Yeah, I gotta be careful
You
with that
gotta be
shit.
careful. But I don't. But it gets intense. Those things get intense because it's a lot of emotion involved.
Uh-huh.
The
It was
intensity.
it was emotional that night.
It was lit. I'm pretty sure going to that fight like that, you're like, damn, these Mexicans are here deep. They
Yeah,
believe in this man, like,
yeah.
like, like, like he's fucking Trump or
That's it.
something like
That's their president right there.
yeah,
They
like
said,
he's Trump.
they said,
Um,
they said, they said, that's that's Chavez's son. He's got it in his blood. He keeps proving that he doesn't. It's sad. And it's a work thing with him because what you gonna do, you know? But yeah, man. I tell you
one
what, man.
thing, yeah.
So
Okay, speak your piece.
I was just gonna say like this is our first year doing this, man. Like I'm really it's been really fun. You know what I mean? We've really been able to put together something here. Like,
Yeah, it's something. It's something that is in the making. I think in the future we're gonna do more things. Like people watch out. We're gonna do more album reviews.
mhm,
We're gonna talk about more different topics besides what we're talking about now to give
yeah,
more a spice of what is going to come next. But as that being said, the two albums that you heard like this year, I think I came up with this year was the Nas Disease 2 and the Rush's album Chomp 2. So give me your piece of both those albums, what you thought was like your likes and don't likes, or however your review on it, basically.
well, I mean, that Russ album, Chomp 2 was fire. Like, and they released it. Like, I think that what I enjoyed the most about it is that I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting it. It just dropped. You know, you see this cat, you know, out of Atlanta, you know, just talking to people about his about real lyricism and everything, and saying he wants to get back to that. And then he drops the album, and he's out there getting real MCs to jump on there with him. I mean, he got Papoose, uh, he got Ghostface to come on there with him. He had a joint with he had a joint with Conway the Machine. He had he went out and he got everybody. He wasn't leaning away from the challenge, which a lot of so-called rappers these days are doing. Like, you know, he went and got oh man, who else did he get? What's the country boy's name? Man, my man from Mississippi, Big Crit, yes sir. He went there, he got Big Crit on there. Like he was getting spitters to come on there with him, and on some of them he was doing good, and others he wasn't. But he like, all I can say is that at least he took the challenge. You know what I mean? Like I can salute him for that. You know, he was on there trying to spit. You know, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot.
What I like about the album, for me, is that I enjoyed the features more than I enjoyed Russ, in my opinion. I'm not saying Russ can't rap. I'm not saying he's, I'm not saying anything. I don't want to say anything too negative about him, because you don't have too many people trying to bring these guys and like, look, these guys, this is what I like too. This is what I like. This is what what I grew up to. I grew up to Papoose. I grew up to Ghostface. I grew up to The Game. I grew up to Styles P, Jadakiss. Those are the guys I've listened to. So a lot of people are not trying to put these guys on their album because they're not as marketable as probably like a Lil Yachty or Lil Uzi Vert or A Boogie or any of those newer guys, And what disappointed me for Russ is that when I saw the interview with Breakfast Club, and when he told me that he laid his verse down and sent the rest of the song out to all those guys. And I feel like you could do that. That's no problem with doing that. Because a lot of times these guys are traveling, they're doing things, they gotta wait to get time to record the song. But I felt like it would have been a better outing if he was able to say, look, I'm gonna fly you out here. Let's do this and have the chemistry more better. You know what I mean? Because I felt like Russ can rap, but I wasn't a believer of him. Yes, he had some lines. He had the Zelda line. He had a crypto bar. He had a whole bar. The image that he was, to me in my mind, I wasn't bought by it. I wasn't bought by it. It didn't fly with me. But I will tell you this. He had an album before that when he was singing and doing a lot of melodic stuff, and he did rap. But it's that singing melodic thing is more, and you could rap, don't get me wrong, but the type of rap that I expected from him on the Chomp 2 wasn't the same type of rap that he had on his last album. The other one on his last album seemed to me like it fit him more. It's more of his fit. You know what I mean? And I'm not to say don't try different things. It's more of his fit to me. I believe his last album than I believe this one album. I'm not to say this album that he did wasn't good. You're gonna have to come a little harder than that, my guy. For me.
I'll say this, because like I said, I like the effort that he gave, and on some of them he was doing it, like on his joint with Blue Chip with Ransom. I think he got off on Ransom. You know what I'm saying? I think he got off on that. The joint with Jay Electronica, he got off on that. You know, he sounded good with Sci-Hi the Prince and Lloyd Banks. You know, on Get It. You know what I mean? But that being said, you know, he basically made a rap album, Royal Rumble, right? And you got all these guys on there, and they're all gonna, like, a lot of them, like Jada, you're not gonna out rap Jadakiss. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just not gonna do it. We're gonna talk about him too, but you're not gonna, like, Jada. That's his bread and butter is those features. He's coming on there to spaz out. You know, same thing with Styles P. You know what I mean? Big Crit spazzed on his joint, and he admitted that Crit gave it to him in the interview. You know, he said, "Yo, Crit got," and that's what Crit does. He's a country spitter. You know, just all day. But in doing that, in making that album be that cluttered with features, folks forgot that it was his album. You know what I mean? I heard that from a lot of people. They forgot that it was his album. They were like, they said it felt more like a mixtape where he was doing features and it was someone else's album. And in order to have people see, this is what I do, I'm a beast, in order to stand out more on your own feet, you can't have a fucking 14-track album with 16 features on it. You know what I mean? You know, I understand what he was trying to do, and that's dope. You know what I mean? I'm not knocking it, you know, because again, like I enjoyed it. You know, that being said, if you're gonna get on there, you're gonna be like, I spit, I does this, you know, you need to stand alone on most of those tracks. Period.
See how well can you do that for?
Yeah. You know, like I got this 15-track album and 12 of them shits was all me. And yeah, I got some people on maybe 2 or 3, but that's it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, because that was.
But you know what though? You know what? It's not bad for hip hop. It's not.
Exactly.
I think
he's a big name.
It's a good moment in hip hop. I say that it's a good moment in hip hop. I would say that. I'm not gonna shit on Russ all the way. I'm not. I just, you know, for my cup of tea, I just felt like Papoose got him. I thought Styles P got him. I thought Jadakiss got him. I also felt Ghostface got him. I also felt like these guys do what they do best. And you weren't bad, kid, but a good try. That's all. You weren't bad. Good try.
Hey,
the reason why I was disappointed about that is because you sent the tracks out, and you know these guys are listening to what you're saying, and they're like, "No, I can't have you." Even the game said it. The game said, "You're not gonna outrap me on your own shit."
Yep.
This is a sport to me. I consider this as a sport.
You know
what I mean?
Hey, but that being the case, he was willing
to take the chance.
Go out there. He took that chance, and it helped him more than it hurt him. I'll say that. But that being said,
I can agree with that because you know he has a name of people like his music already.
Yeah,
took a different direction with the music. So, well, all you did was open the door up for spitters. Now, it may. I'm not saying he's going to change the whole game lane, no, but it did open the door for more people like the spitters to get more opportunity to get more shine. Because right now, I don't think these spitters are getting shine at all like that right now with all the
They're not getting to play on the radio, that's for sure.
No, they're not getting played on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
They're not getting the little Dirk money. They're not getting little Dirk money. They're not getting A Boogie money. They're not getting Fetty Wap type of money. Those type of guys. They're not getting that type of money no more. That's kind of like what we like was kind of like a moment of time. So he's got to bring that moment of time back because, which I said,
Hey,
you know what? I appreciate that. I
yeah,
appreciate that.
and
I
I
have to
could,
tell you that. I appreciate
there,
that.
there were a lot of moments like that this year. The Locks and the Dipset battle, like that's another one that's like, you know, you know, people can stand up and say, "Oh, that it's the vibe. It's the vibe. That's what I want. Is just the vibe or whatever." But if you're at a show and the cat is just up there making noises or trying to do the melodic shit, but the song don't make no sense, and he's calling himself a rapper, but he can't rap. You know what I mean?
Right.
He can't remember the lyrics to most of his songs or whatever. Y'all are just watching him up there, like throw water bottles into the crowd, and do whatever. You know what I mean? It's turning into that culture of how cool can I look while I'm doing this, instead of it being I does this, and that's what that Locks and Dipset battle did this year. You know, because Hez was like, you know, everybody, oh, Dipset's gonna do this because, you know, you see the chain they
They
can't.
didn't really, they didn't
Do this.
understand. They didn't understand, or people forgot
Yeah,
that the Locks was really
they
one
were. I can't hear you.
of like they forgot spitters. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Can you
now I
hear me
can
now?
hear you. Yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah,
People forgot that the Locks were really spitters.
yeah. They were really spitters. They were really performers. You know, and they called them out on that. These cats don't even know the words to their own songs, and that happens a lot at hip hop shows now. Because I mean, a lot of people are only going out there. They're going out there because the guy's popular, you know. But these cats don't spit. They don't spit, and a lot of the time they're not. You know that's not their thing. You know, and that's what made it so incredible when Jadakiss was out there. Like like Jada was like straight. Like people have mentioned Jada top 5 dead or alive. You know, and nobody's ever said anything like that about anyone in Dipset. They don't say that about Cameron. They don't say that about Jim Jones. They don't say that about Joel Santana. You know, and Jada's up there. He's like a top 5 talent, period. And I remember like some of my boys was like, yo, Jada looked like he was pissed off that he was even out there.
He
And them cats
beat
can't
them.
even
He
remember his
beat
songs.
them. He, he, he beat them. He beat them single.
Yeah, single-handedly. He gave them business. Like, you know, he wasn't playing no games out there. And that's what made it stick out, you know. And I think that like we need more of those moments in hip hop in order to balance it out a little, you know. Oh, don't tell me that you're you know, there you are. There you are. You see me now?
Yeah, we lost. We had some interruption. My bad. But
Yeah.
you hear me though, right?
Yeah, now I can. Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, listen, man. I think what people don't understand is that Dipset had some hits, and I remember they run. They didn't have a bad run. They didn't have
Uh,
a bad run. They didn't have. They had a good run. Yes. I will agree with that.
Mm.
But you don't understand that the Locks had a bigger impact of a run, probably a longer run. You know what
A
I'm saying to
bigger
you?
impact with more potent material. Would you
Right.
say that?
Yeah, they're better rappers than them any day, any day.
Yeah.
Like people forgot that they did. You know, people would say, "Oh, what they gonna have when they play ball and when they play this?" But you don't remember when they was on All About the Benjamins? You don't remember
Yeah.
when they was on Honey with Brian Carey? You don't remember
Yep.
when uh they didn't even play Reservoir not Reservoir Dogs. They even play what's the song they did with Jay-Z and DMX? I don't remember the song, but they could have played that.
24 hours to live. No,
Jay-Z
no,
was
that was just with DMX and,
right,
and Mace. You know.
right, right. But
Yeah.
it was another song they did with Jay-Z.
That was Reservoir Dogs.
Was Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah.
Um they didn't play that. They played some of their records and then they went straight to Jadakiss mixtape. And Jadakiss mixtape just burnt them all. They're like,
Yeah. They they had some stuff that they didn't even pull out. You know what I mean? It's like we got the Mac right here, but you only deserve the 9. You know what I mean?
that's
And
it.
that's it. And that's it. You know, hey, you know, that's what it is. Like, you know, I think people like me and you are always gonna appreciate the lyricism, you know, in hip hop, you know, but that being the case, I think that because the music is so expendable now and it comes out so quick, you know, we really have to take our time to appreciate certain things. Like, you know, there are a lot of joints that are going to drop next year, and I'm excited that we're going to be reviewing albums. You know what I'm saying? Because your boy Freddie Gibbs is going to be dropping joints. Uh, Currency is going to be dropping another joint with Alchemist. Uh, you know, we got a lot of stuff coming. You know what I mean? And it's going to be exciting to where we, you know, I think 2022 is going to be a big year. You know, it's going to be a big year for this show. You know, I think it's going to be big. Period. You know, it's going to be big for boxing. It's going to be big for UFC. You know what I mean? It's going to be big for hip hop music. You know what I mean? Because a lot of stuff was set in place. You know, along with everything being a comeback from 2020 because it was such a hard year. You know, Kendrick's going to be releasing an album next year. Um, I think there's going to be a lot for
Yeah,
us to take
there's a
in.
lot of there's a lot of music coming out. Um the only downside to this is that I just can't keep up with all of it. You know,
No,
before
we
before
just got
it's
to
like
choose.
right now you guys see like, do I have time for this? Let me hear this. Let
Yep,
me hear this.
yep.
Now before it's like albums will come out. I'm not saying they won't put out a lot of music. They will put out a lot of music too, and don't get me wrong. But I just think that it's a different time, a different time period. Like, you know,
Hey,
it's
man,
just
we adults now, man. Like, what can you say? Like I don't listen to what the kids listen to. You know what I mean? It's like what Jada Kiss was saying. I'm not on Instagram like that. You know what I mean? I listen to what I like. You know, and you know, like it's still a youthful movement. You know, with a lot of this stuff, and that's why, you know, a lot of these kids can just say, "Well, you know, I don't want to hear a Hot 16 right now. I don't want to. I don't care about him saying this. I don't. I'm mad at that guy because he dissed my favorite rapper. You know what I mean? It's that's just what it is now.
it's
That's
just
the nature of the beast right now. You know, and
it's
all we
just
can do
whack.
is,
It's just whack.
you know,
It's just whack. I
hey,
just hope that you know, I just hope. Well, I can't hope, man. It's gonna go the direction it's gonna go. You know,
uh,
I just want to just pick out the best apples
that's
from the
it.
grapes,
Yep.
and you know, I'm ready to hear like you said, like Nas's King Disease 2, I heard it.
Uh-huh.
I only heard it because it was Nas. If it wasn't Nas, I wouldn't have listened to it. To keep it 100 with you. I respect Nas as a top MC, as one of the best MCs. I will always give him that credit. I always give him his flowers due because yes, he's one of the best MCs. Now, but unfortunately, I can't speak for everyone when I listen to music. I can't speak for what you may not agree with me with this. You may not agree with this. I think King Disease 1 was better than King Disease 2, you know,
Okay.
but I just don't think like neither King Disease 1 or neither King Disease 2 is they're both not my favorites.
I hear you. Now, let me ask you this: would you say that's more of a? Would you say it's because of the rhymes, or would you say it's because of the production?
Well, I listen to it like this. Nah, sometimes she doesn't pick the best beats.
Okay.
And sometimes he sounds the same. He has the same approach on every beat. He don't switch up his flow too much. He sounds the same, and it's like he might do little different things, but I just don't hear the change. Like you can't spit. You can't. To me, for me, you can't sound the same exact way throughout the whole entire album. But I get bored of that shit real fast. I mean, let me hear something else. Let me hear what else you're gonna say. Like sometimes I feel like Nas is like white rice. He's edible. You can eat it. But with my white rice, I want some beans on it. I want some sauce. I want
Hey,
something that's a little more than what you're giving me right now. And I'm not saying it's a bad album. There's albums that I heard like the shit that I just can't remember most of the songs on both those albums.
ah, see, I see,
And
I, I really
that's
enjoyed
foul.
King's Disease too. You
You did
know,
that? You did?
I, I didn't, I didn't, I didn't like it better than King's Disease one, because I'll say this, and I can admit this: King's Disease one, the first joint, caught me off guard because I didn't know how he was gonna sound with Hit Boy, you know, and I think that he's developed a bond with Hit Boy, and I think that they're carving out their lane and they have their certain sound that they're going to shoot for when they make their records, and that's what they're doing, and that's what I expected with King's Disease too. So I enjoyed King's Disease too because I was like, hey, you know, they did this with the first King's Disease. You know, it might not be better, but it's still good. It's in that same lane like that. It took that album, both of those albums took me back to when I was, you know, when I was in Jersey or in North Carolina, or when I was in Atlanta and I didn't have a car and I had to get on the train or I had to get on the bus or whatever, and I would throw in a CD or whatever or a tape and throw that in and just zone out and take in all the visions of the city that I was in, because I was always in like an urban area. You know what I mean? I was in Atlanta. I was taking the train down into the middle of Atlanta. You know what I mean? I was taking the bus all around Greensboro, out to different parts of Greensboro, through downtown Greensboro, or whatever. You know, I was taking the train and the bus. I was taking New Jersey Metro all over central and northern Jersey. You know what I mean? And it took me back to that mind state where I'm just seeing things and and thinking about it from that standpoint. You know, it wasn't gonna be just flat bang out.
Right.
You know, it wasn't gonna be a primo production. You know, that's not where I was at with that. You know, but it did take me to that point, take me back to that part of my life, and that's what I did to relax and stuff. Was
Right.
just put that on and zone out. You know what I mean? And, you know, and that's where it took me to that. It's like, you know, where you were saying, you know, it reminded you of white rice. It reminded me more of like goat curry. Because
It, it took you back to a nostalgic feeling for you,
yes,
which
exactly.
I'm hey, I can't argue that. That's something I cannot argue. That's something I would never argue because as a listener of music, if he did that for you, then he's done his job for you.
Uh,
You know what I mean? And that's fine. You know, and I'm not. I like the knowledge that I like more was Stillmatic.
yeah.
Stillmatic, the Stillmatic. I think Stillmatic is still better than King Disease 1, 2, and that new stuff that he dropped. I still think that's a better album. You know, because he was beefing with
That was the
Cormega,
spark.
and yeah, it was like he had so much, a lot to get off his chest. There was so
Yeah.
much he had to get off his chest,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, can I ask you this? Do you think Stillmatic is better than King Disease 1, 2, and his last?
And
His
magic.
last, yeah.
Um, yes, absolutely.
But how far? Is there a big disparity in it, or just like no?
King's Disease was a great album. King's Disease 2 was a good album. Magic was a good album. Stillmatic was a classic.
So the disparity, there's a big, it's almost a disparity in it
There are
because
levels to this. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Now, with that being said, Nas had dropped that. Then he dropped. I look classics to me. Illmatic.
mm-hmm.
It was written. You may not consider I Am a classic, but I think it was a good album for me.
That was a great album. Absolutely, it wasn't.
Right,
There was a couple of throwaways on that one. Like you know, it wasn't touching Illmatic. Right.
bro. Right, but it was still a decent album. It wasn't a
Yeah,
bad. It
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
better. Right.
yeah.
Boom. Then we
Absolutely.
go. We fast forward a little bit. He drops Nostradamus, which is I didn't like that too much. It was okay.
No, no, I didn't like that album at all. I listened to the album once.
Then he drops Stillmatic. Boom. Like that was boom. That was great.
Yeah, I mean, he was beefing with Jay. You know, he was beefing with Jay, and that sparked that creative energy. Like he had to come like that or not come at all. And if he hadn't, then like cats were writing him off. You know, and like I mean, Ether almost ended. Like if that would have been anybody else, that would have ended their career. But it was Jay-Z. So
He tried to. He
he
really he
tried to.
tried. He
He
tried to.
he 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 really
He took
he
it
wasn't
personal.
messing around.
He took it personal. He took it
Yeah,
personal. You know, that's why I like Stillmatic because
he's
and
telling
I'm not saying I
stories
don't
backwards.
not to say I don't like Illmatic. Illmatic was started it off.
Uh-huh.
It was written was another great album, but Stillmatic for me, I was more in tune with rap at that time too. At that time, like I was alive. I remember that happening. I remember what is what is Nas gonna say? What
Yeah.
is it's been like 8 months and Nas has not dropped anything. No one
Mhm.
didn't hear a peep from Nas. When Nas dropped the album, the whole world almost stopped for a little bit. Everybody stopped.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
oh,
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
Yup.
that was a crazy moment. But people don't remember that. Like,
Uh-huh.
people don't like my little brother doesn't remember when Stillmatic dropped when it came out, and it was the most craziest shit that came out in a
Uh-huh.
long time. And people were like, "Did you hear the new Nas shit?" Like people heard Jay shit because Jay was talking about all this crazy stuff. Jay's album was good,
Right.
but it wasn't better than Stillmatic. And I'm gonna hold my ground with that. And I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. And people from Brooklyn love Jay-Z,
Uh-huh.
but I think Bill Penn One was a good album, maybe a classic,
That was a
maybe
great
I don't
album.
know,
Definitely classic.
good album.
I consider it a classic.
Yeah, because I was thinking to myself, is it a classic? You know what? It is a classic. It
Mhm.
is a classic, but is it a better classic than Stillmatic? No, no, no. And I only because I say the only reason why I might say well I'm saying it, I'm not I am not my I am saying this
Mhm.
is because people had to wait and feel what is Nas gonna do.
Uh-huh.
Everybody waited these
Everybody
6 months.
waited, and he satisfied that. It's like if somebody's been talking about how good they can cook for years, and then they finally make you a meal, and everything that they said that they were going to do, they did. That adds that. Yeah, I can feel
That's
you.
the icing on the cake.
Yeah,
That's the icing on
yeah,
the cake. And no one really talks about the disc that he did on like Nas on that Nas album, the Bridge is Over
yeah.
against the mob. No one really talks about that disc. That disc is a monster disc on that album
Uh-huh.
to me. No one really talks about that disc like that. I don't know why. There was 2 disc records on that album,
Uh-huh.
literally, and no one talks about the disc. What's it called? Was it called The Bridge is Over?
Yeah,
Or was it? It was called The Bridge is Over.
it's
What was it called?
oh, we old people. We
I
gotta
don't
look
remember. I'm
stuff
just
up.
saying.
Uh, I I want to say let me see. Uh, shoot. Uh,
Destroyed and Rebuild.
destroy and
Destroyed
rebuild.
and
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But he was saying the bridge is over. Like yeah, it was just called Destroyed and Rebuild. But oh my god, that was just like I'm like he was really airing off his chest, and that's what I
Yeah,
enjoyed the most. He was
yep.
airing off.
He
I'm
was
not
doing that.
intimidated.
He
I'm
was
not I'm not intimidated by none of you guys. None.
no,
None.
no.
Listen.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna tell you, and if you got something, like I'm gonna say it like that. I mean, One Mic was an amazing record. The Flyers was an amazing record with AZ. I'm still mad that him and AZ haven't made an
A
album
collab album.
together. It's never gonna happen. I mean, I guess it's just not gonna
I think
happen.
you know what's funny? You know what's funny?
Uh,
I think AZ always been better than Nas.
as a
I always
AZ is the man. He was better on him on Life's a Bitch, that's for sure. I like this verse better on the Flyers. You know,
I
but
I just think that his marketability, they never market him very well as like AZ always shows up.
yeah,
And for some reason,
absolutely
when AZ shows up with Nas, he's like, listen, I'm nice too. Like, don't
right.
forget I'm from Brooklyn and I could do this.
Uh-huh.
And I've always felt that AZ was like, wow, this kid is why he doesn't have the same presence or outlook of being just as great or even better than Nas. He doesn't have that feel. And that's maybe
Uh,
because his albums
that's a
maybe
good
not as
question.
better.
Uh,
You know what I
that's a
mean?
great question. Hey, we should. Hey, like people, when we do these reviews, like let me put y'all on to something. When we do these album reviews, we're gonna go. It's not just gonna be new music. We're gonna go back, and we're gonna review old albums. Like go back, try to revisit and see if they still have those feelings that we had when we listened to them. Because I know I feel amazing when I hear AZ's Asiatic. You know,
Yes.
you know,
Or Do or Die
yeah,
one.
or
Do or
Do or
Die
Die.
one.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Those are two classic records for me from that man. I do feel like AZ doesn't get the credit that he deserves. Like like he his the sequel to Do or Die dropped this year.
Yeah, I heard it. I wasn't too crazy about it.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that again. But bottom line, You know, we're gonna go into old records, new records, revisit classics. We'll take suggestions from our audience.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah,
Let me ask you this. Do you think AZ is anywhere top 25 or top 10?
top 25, absolute.
Not top 10.
No,
No,
not
no.
top 10. I like because at some point it's got to be not just how well you rhyme, but how well you carried it as well. I mean, he's top 20, top 25, top 20, top 15, not top 10.
Do you think you so you so you rank Jadakiss higher than AZ, of course.
Yeah, yeah. I
That's
rank
fair.
Jadakiss higher than Jay Z. I mean than Az. You know, just off of he's a little more uh
He had a little better career than AZ, to be honest with
yeah,
you. He had a
he had a
better
better
career.
career. He's a little more versatile than Az.
Think so?
I think so. You know, I think that Az, I mean, it was just a problem with when he dropped. Like that was part of it. But then again, like when you're listening to Az, you're not looking for a club banger from Az. You know, Az is ride out music. You know,
He never really had those type of
he
records
never had a
too.
club joint.
Yeah. And I
Uh,
think that hindered his career a little bit.
yeah,
You didn't take it where he could have, but it just never
yeah,
happened like that. It just never like, and that's part of why I think his success wasn't as great as it should be. Like,
yeah. Well, he left major labels after his second album, and that was when he made it was 9 Lives, and
yeah, he was
that
fucking
album
with the
not been struck.
independent. Yeah, he was going independent, and I think that
Yeah,
hurt him too because he was getting the independent money, but it's just not. I mean, I respect it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I don't respect it. You know what I mean? Because it is what it is. He put out the music that he wanted to put out.
yeah,
He gave he gave himself the real.
uh-huh.
But I just feel like he just they don't talk about him as one of the best MCs, and I think they should. That's all.
They should, they should. He's definitely top 15. Like I would go as far as to give him top
Top
15,
15. Yeah.
like top 10. I mean, that's where you talking about the Rakims, you're talking about Jay Z, you're talking about Nas, you're
There's too
talking
many people. There's too many people that
yeah,
go ahead of him because they don't really remember his really like. You gotta be a hip hop fan to really know about AZ shit.
yeah, and like I can be if I'm biased, then yeah, because like I mean, like I followed AC, I stuck with him. You know what I mean? I was happy when he just started selling independent records and wasn't trying to make songs with Mariah Carey anymore. You know what I mean? Because like, and that's what got him is because remember he had that issue. Alchemist sold an album, a record to both him and like who was it? It was Az. Look at this. You know, um, I forget what album it. Like I'm gonna have to look that up. But I know him and Alchemist. Alchemist sold the record to him, and he sold the record to someone else. And that messed him up.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And,
That's
and, and it was,
unfortunate.
you know, it was a double. He sold it to him and Raz Cats.
That's unfortunate. Unfortunate event sometimes in the business. You know what I
Oh
mean?
no, that was Razcast and Jadakiss. I'm sorry. That was
Okay.
Razcast and Jadakiss. And that was We Gonna Make It. And that's one of Jadakiss's biggest records. But he
Oh,
sold
he did that. He did. I
yeah.
remember hearing that same beat.
Uh-huh.
I remember. I'm like, why did they have the same beat on that same? I'm like, that was one of the scenarios.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Oh man.
But
Oh man.
you know what? I take you know I apologize for that statement that was false. You know, but I know that he got out of it because I think that was part of the reason. Like Nas, uh, I think part of the reason why Nas said in an interview one time that he didn't think that AZ took his career as seriously as he did, and he was just trying to take the money that they made and make and establish other businesses outside of hip hop. And Nas was like, "Yo, I'm focused on hip hop right now," and he said that's why he never made that record with AZ. And I'm sad about that because that would have been a classic. Like this,
But I think they should do it. I think they can. I think
they can still
if
do it, but it's not gonna
with the
be
same feel,
like
no,
yeah,
no.
yeah, you know,
I just so can I say this though?
yeah.
Do you think he's a better rapper than Nas?
I think he's outshined Nas a couple of times, and that usually doesn't happen with Nas. Because usually when Nas goes on a feature, or when Nas goes on a feature, or he has somebody featuring on his album, Nas usually is coming in with the full clip. You know what I mean? I mean, you saw what he did on Eye for an Eye. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You know, you saw what he did on that Wu-Tang shit, Let My Niggas Live. You saw what he did on Verbal Intercourse. You saw what
he
he
did a
did.
lot of shit.
Yeah, and
He's
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 just
a
going on
problem.
there blowing cats out the water, straight up. You know, and AZ's the only cat that I heard who came on there and was like, nah, baby,
You're not gonna do it to me. You're not
you're
gonna
not
do
gonna
that
do
to
it to
me.
me. You ain't about the verbal intercourse me. You know, like, you ain't about the eye for an eye me. Like, like you gonna earn this shit. Like that he was the only feature on Illmatic. You know what I'm saying?
And he was the dope. And he was dope.
Yeah.
He was dope. I think he was
And he
dope.
roasted like everybody remembers that.
And no one really know who AZ was. They were
No,
that made him really. If you think
yep.
about it.
I made him, and then he did Sugar Hill. And Sugar Hill, I still play that record whenever I
These
buy a
days.
new car. Like that's my ride out music. Like, hey, I just got this car with Sugar Hill.
Let's put this on. Let's put
Yeah,
this on.
you know.
But you know
Oh
what?
man.
Though? I think we had a great session today. Let's let the new year come in and you take it from here, my guy.
Yes, sir. Hey, you know what? Like, let me say this to everybody that listened. Thank you. You know what I mean? To, you know, to Matty Tosca and Eddie Ruger, thank you for coming on our show and giving us great interviews. Just thank you. Y'all could have been anywhere, but y'all chose to be with us. And we appreciate that. You know what I mean? And we're gonna do it again soon. You know. But yeah, man, 2021 is over and done. You know what I mean? Let's get to 2022 and get into what's new. You know what I mean?
Yeah, expect more interviews,
Uh,
more music talk more because we should do that more. And
Absolutely. More album reviews, for sure. We gonna, we gonna make it that much better for y'all in the new year. But thank you for joining us all the same. You know, we're gonna close it out One love to everybody. Happy New Year. Blessings to everyone. Salute.
Peace.
Arroz and Oxtails.
God bless.